Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Marty Richards with Richland Center Tourism here once again with our Friday night version of Why Do We Call It That? So today you find me located in kind of an odd place, the Starlite 14 Drive-In. Now that's not so unusual that I'm here. What's unusual is there's not a huge history behind the actual name, the Starlite 14. However, the Starlite 14 Drive-In is a huge deal for our community, and it has been a huge deal even for my own family. So for many, many years, the Starlite 14 Drive-In existed. It actually had a previous name of the Highway 14 Drive-In, but approximately 1988, they did change the name to the Starlite 14 Drive-In. So both the drive-in and the movie theater are owned by the same ownership group here in Richland Center. And for years there were different ownership groups, but the last 31 years it was owned by the Bill Muth family. And even prior to that, I know Bill worked at the drive-in and at the theater downtown. So Bill got to that age and his family got to that age where kids are all gone, they're not there to help. He's getting to that point where, okay, it's a lot of fun working every weekend night at the drive-in, but it's been a passion, but I think it's time for somebody else to take this over. So this year, there is a new ownership group. So after 31 years and purchasing in 1988, the Muths sold the drive-in and the downtown theater to an ownership group of Tony and Holly Johnson and their family, and Brent Montree and his family. So we have brand new owners. We're excited. That injects a little bit of new ideas and some new processes. They've already shown that they have some really cool ideas in that they recently held a concert. They had a simulcast concert here, and they have more of those scheduled in the future, not to mention the standby of movies as well. So a little bit of the history, again, the Muth family, after owning it for 31 years, I said they deserve a Congressional Medal of Honor for doing that for that long. They do have a couple of favorite stories over that time. One of the best ones, and I've witnessed this, about every year or two, they would have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre here as one of the movies. And honest, this happened. I'm watching the movie, and all of a sudden, in one of the most critical scenes, this man in a trench coat with a chainsaw, with the saw removed, so it was just the engine and the bar, no actual chain, came running through the lot with the chainsaw, just revving it right up in a really critical scene. Let me tell you, that woke people up. I know in my car, things got a little snug during that time. That was kind of cool. Thank you, Bill, for that. But that was an exciting one. They did that a couple different times. The other story Bill relayed to me that he said, I'll never forget this. One night, just an average Saturday night, people are driving in and they look out at the ticket booth, and all of a sudden the young lady they had working the ticket booth is bailing out of the window. She didn't go out the back door. She bailed out the window across a customer's hood of her car and ran back to the concession stand in the projection booth. By the time she got there, she was just breathless and crying and screaming. It was pretty chaotic. A black snake had snuck into the ticket booth and wrapped itself around her stool, unbeknownst to her, until she was in the middle of selling tickets to the car in front of her, and she wasn't wasting any time, bailed out of there. They were able to get the snake out of the booth. Everybody survived. There were no injuries. Rumor has it the car hood was fine. So, Bill taking a much-deserved rest. The Montree and the Johnson families now picking up that mantle. My family, I know we had come for years with our daughters, brought them to the drive-in. Every exchange student, we always had to make sure they came to the drive-in. Our family story, the most memorable one, we're here at the drive-in. It was a little bit of a rainy night, and we're watching Jurassic Park. And all of a sudden, there's a bit of rain, and it's the scene where you see the dinosaur's eye. We had a carload of daughters just going berserk. So there's always an extra thrill at the drive-in here at Richland Center. So we welcome the Montree and the Johnson families to our tourism community here in Richland Center. We strongly encourage that you come on out, visit them, see what they're up to here. There's a lot of changes in store. I know the concession area has already been remodeled completely, but I also know they have evenings scheduled for them hot rod nights. We've got one coming up on Saturday night. So just encourage, come on out. There's only 9 drive-in movie theaters in the state of Wisconsin, and across the nation, it's not a big number. But hey, here in Richland Center, we do have one. We would love to see you come visit us. When you're sharing these videos, please invite others to come visit us as well. Also, I'd ask you, go on out to YouTube, and you can follow Richland Center Tourism on YouTube and kind of catch up on some of these episodes that you've missed. So for Richland Center Tourism, I'm Marty Richards. Thank you for joining us.